happy birthday.
Hey, Grandma. Sorry. I don't do it anymore. Hi. Oh, yeah.
He would telegraph the auto company, and he would send the part out on a train. They'd pick that up off the repair the car and on the tour again. Shortly after he left, two automobile companies sponsored him to be the first. He beat them both, and he was still in the sponsor. And he said, "You never did
my mom, Marie. She'll probably get a little bit upset, but that's okay. It's family. Marie Cecilia Cardon, born in Reedley, California, as Mary Cecilia Cardon, or Tremblay, on November 29, 1916, to Earl and Cornelia Tremblay. Between the time she was born and her baptism, though, there was a family revolt. And guess what? Because of her French relatives, her name on her baptismal certificate is Marie, and that's how we know her as Marie. The state thinks she's married. About 5 years of age, the family moved to Watsonville. She started first grade out of a little rural two-room school on Green Valley Road called Green Valley School. But she graduated from Moreland Notre Dame High School. After high school, she moved with her family to Crescent City. There she met and married Edward Charles Cardon at the age of 20 on October 4th, 1937. They had 8 children, 2 boys, 6 girls, Joan, Larry, Barb, Jack, Mary, Ann, Dorothy, and guess what? Big span of years, right there. From these, she has 16 grandchildren, oldest being Ed, and the youngest being Allison. 25 great-grandchildren. The oldest is Michelle. The youngest is Hannah. You have to keep in mind, though, that Marie has no in-laws. She considers every one of them as family, not an in-law. And she was family-focused. Family gatherings were her favorite, and still are. Over the years, and you all know this, she babysat for many of the grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Much as she complained, she loved every minute of it. But you know she comes from good stuff. I want to tell you a little story that has happened in the last few weeks. And this will kind of tell you. Her driver's license was expiring. Time for new driver's license. So what does she do? She goes to the internet, gets the tests, reads through them. I'm ready. Goes to the DMV. They give her her test. Do you have diabetes? Do you have strokes? Are you capable of driving? She answers no.
And yes.
And guess what? That was the test. She was very disappointed. All those hours of work, and they asked her things like that. So anyway, then they got to do the eye test. That was really interesting. You ought to see that eye test she did. Cover your eye, read the chart. A, B, C, D, E, F. Cover your eye, read the other chart. A, B, C, D, E, F. But they thought so much of her youthful appearance, they gave her a driver's license. Didn't tell her how long, and then she got it. What do you think? 5 years. 90 years old, 5 years. Good stock? She's already planning how to get the next driver's license in 5 years. So, with that, on behalf of a mother who will not talk in front of crowds, thank you all for coming, and it's time for share. Who would like to tell a story about Marie?
I think the most I ever remember about Marie is there was always chaos around Marie. There was always probably 100 of us around her feet. Reminded me a lot of Grandma Tremblay. And no matter how many nieces and nephews and her kids were around, Marie always had time for you. And she always made you feel special. And that's what I'll always love and I'll always remember about Marie. How she ever did it, I have no idea. And how she ever made it this far without a mental breakdown, I have no idea either. But I think you're a very special woman, Marie, and you remind me a lot of your mother. And I'm too proud to call myself your nephew.
Beverly.
I have to tell you, Marie is not only my aunt, but she's my godmother. And I've always felt like she was more than just a aunt or a godmother. I always felt like she was my other mother. always there, you know. And I just want to tell Marie how much that meant to me and how much it still does and how much I love her. And happy birthday.
Do we have someone else?
Well, this family's never been at a loss for words. There should be
Except in front of crowds.
I'll say something.
I'm waiting.
Grandma, because that's what you are, you're absolutely wonderful and fabulous. You have arms that are so big. You are welcoming and opening to everybody. I remember when my dad and Bertha got married, I was at what do I call her? And obviously it's so fitting that you definitely are grandma. And it was so special the other day when we went to the mail and Charlie got a Thanksgiving card from you. And it was really nice. So, grandma. Thank you.
Oh, I thought so much of Marie, I married her older daughter. Well, Marie was my big sister. And I don't think she ever gave me a hard time as a little kid. I was 5 years her junior. And she was never mean to me. And her house, when we went to her house, even I had 5 days of my own. We go over there, that table would set dinner was the best dinner you ever saw in your life. In a matter of minutes, she talked about all the time, visiting with us all the time. She was preparing it. Always a fantastic piece. But a story I like to tell about Marie is when Joan was born. Marie was working as a cook in the restaurant we owned, in the hotel. And she worked until the moment she put the spatula down, went up to the hospital and had Joan. I didn't know that.
Anybody else?
I think what's special is the storytelling. You know, before the age of television, radio, stories of families were carried on from generations by the stories that were repeated. The grandchildren learned them and so on down the line. And we know so much of our background, and I'd say this even for all the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, you name it. The stories that we have heard that have connected us with our history, I think have been so important, and they connect us with each other also. To me, that's one of the big things, is hearing these stories, not only of her growing up, but of her parents, of her grandparents, of anybody that she had heard a story from. That story was ingrained in her memory, and she's more or less, you might say, the storyteller of the family. So we need someone to really listen close to these stories to take over, because we don't want to lose them. But I think your storytelling is what holds us together also with your love, because that is your love, is your family, and that's storytelling.
Well, on behalf of your sons, your daughters, everyone here, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Now it's cake cutting time. If you'd like to bring your cameras.
Pretend for all of us first.
He's in my St. Thomas family. Oh, I didn't realize it was a second cake. It was a second one.
Is that good?